Hello, hello, hello. Oh my goodness. Welcome to this Success by Design Training Masterclass today. I am so excited that we are having this session. Now, if you are joining me live, let me know in the comments as you join, and let me know in the comments where you are joining from. And perhaps you also want to say what the weather is like, because it's one of those days in the UK today. So I don't know where you're joining us from, where you are in the world, what the weather is like where you are. But you are with me, Abigail Barnes from Success by Design Training. And whether you are joining here live or you are watching this on the replay, I'm so excited that we're going to get to spend the next 45, 50 minutes together talking all about setting boundaries so that you can have the life that you want. You can have the career that you want. So let me know where you're joining me from. Let me know what the weather's like and just how you're doing, because it's interesting times right now for everybody. And I'm just trying to see if I can see myself live. Just to check that the tech is all working. Yes, it's there. And yes, I can see that some of you are watching over on LinkedIn, and your comments are now coming through. Hello from London. Yes, it is raining in London right now. As I said, I don't know where you're going to be watching this from in the world, so let's crack on. So we are talking today all about how to set boundaries and how you can set the boundaries so that it doesn't feel awkward and you don't feel like somebody's going to tell you off or something like this. And I've got some slides to run through, and I've also really excitingly got a workbook for you. So I'm not sure if you got the message about how to download the workbook, but I will give you the link for that so that you can make sure that you get the workbook too, to really maximize your time in this session. Usually these sessions would be paid, but this session at the time of recording is my birthday week. So I wanted to do a really special session for you. So let me get up the slides, and then we've got something that we can chat through. Just need to move this out of the way so that you can see it all very clearly. Let me make myself a little bit smaller so you can see them bigger, depending on what kind of a device you are watching this on. So this is all about setting boundaries so you can have more time for the life you want. And I don't know about you, but do you struggle with time? Do you feel like you don't have enough to do what you want? Or perhaps you do have enough, but you don't know what it is that you actually want to be doing with the time that you have. During this session, you are going to get the answer that you need. It's no coincidence that you're here watching this. And my trainings are always about planting seeds. So I am sharing information, and I will guarantee that some of this information you have already heard before. But it's not about what you know. It's about what you do with what you know. So we can all take classes, read books, get certificates, pass exams, but unless our lives look how we want them to, I would challenge you that you don't actually know what you have learnt until you have done something with it. And that might be a little bit confrontational, but if you do trainings and you don't feel an emotion from that training, you don't get triggered from that training, you don't think about that training in a different way, then the training isn't for you. We have to do trainings where we feel an emotion, we feel a connection. And that's why there's never any competition in life, because we can all be saying the same thing, but we resonate with the person who is delivering it. And some people we don't resonate with, and some people we do resonate with. So we're talking all about this boundary setting. Now, I wanted to do a little intro for those of you who don't know me. As I said at the start, my name's Abigail Barnes. I'm an author and a speaker and a trainer. I'm a two-time author of Time Management for Entrepreneurs and Time Management for Entrepreneurs and Professionals. Here is the second copy of my books, my second book. Maybe you have got copies of it. Maybe by the end of this session, you'll want to get a copy of it. But my life wasn't always like this. I wasn't always speaking for companies like this around the world, online and in person. I wasn't working for or with organizations such as the names that I've put up here now. For over 10 years, I worked in investment management, asset management, and hedge funds in the city and in the West End in London. And I'd always wanted to do something else, but I just didn't know how to do it or what to do. And perhaps this is you. Perhaps you are in this place right now, looking at the world, struggling with what it is that you really want to do. Maybe 2020 has lit a fire in you of what is your purpose, but you don't really fully know. And maybe what is going on in the world right now is causing you to question, why am I here? What is it all about? What do I want from this? Why do the things that I have not make me feel as good as they used to? Now, this was me, and this went on for years and years and years. And I used to think that the answer was to buy another thing, to go to another party, to have another drink, to take another holiday, to do whatever the advert was telling me to do. That's what I tried. And it was Einstein who actually said insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting to get a different result. Well, believe me, I tried over and over again for 10 years to find my next step, to find the answer, to find what it was that I was here to do. And I just couldn't. And so it was only when I was told that I was going to be sent to America on a work business trip that things suddenly started to seem different, that I felt like doing this was going to be the answer, taking this flight, going to this country, doing this training, meeting some new people, going to a new place. That was going to be the answer that I was looking for. Well, they say the answers come, but they're not always the answers that you immediately want. So if you ask for an answer, do expect that you will get whatever you get. And the answer that I got was actually a near-death experience. The answer that I got was 24 hours after waking up in America, in Boston. I found myself in hospital being told by the doctors that at the age of 32, I'd had a stroke. Now I'm sharing my story in this training. I share my story in all trainings that I do to impress upon you the importance of time, the importance of this life, of these opportunities that we have. And while it may seem that your life is not where you want it to be, and it may seem like you don't know what the next answer is, health is wealth. And when your health is questioned, that is it. That is the game over. We are born, we live, we die. There's the middle bit, the bit that we're all experiencing right now, is our lives. So it's so important that we maximize that time. So the message that I took away from this wake-up call was, it's your time. Said two ways. First way, it's your time. What do you want to do? What is in you? What is in your soul? What are the voices saying to you? And yes, we all have voices, and no, it doesn't make you crazy. We're all crazy. And if you can't hear the voices, what are you doing to block out the voices, to drown them out? Why can't you hear them? And perhaps you can hear them at certain times of the day, but not at others. Maybe they're really loud just before you go to bed. Maybe they wake you up. Or maybe you hear them just before you turn on the TV to watch another Netflix box set. So it's your time. And the second way, it's your time. So who's got it? What are they doing with it? What is this boundary going to help you to do, to keep, to protect your time to hold your time in. So in this amazing workbook that I've created for you, the first thing, and this is the next slide of our session, so download this workbook. This is what it looks like. It is really, really cool. I'm actually very impressed with myself with this workbook. And when you download it, you will get sent to a site. On this site will have the replay for this session. So you can literally download it, watch the replay over and over and over again. And it's all in one place. You're not going to get distracted. And we're calling this the training vault. And in this vault, we're going to be adding more and more training to help you. So the question I want you to think about is, what's overwhelming you right now? What on your to-do list is really keeping you up at night? What wakes you up first thing in the morning, gives you anxiety, is overwhelming you? And perhaps it's that there's too much on your to-do list. Perhaps it's that you don't know what's going to happen. Maybe that's overwhelming you. Perhaps just things are constantly changing. At this time of recording, the UK now has another new prime ministerial contest. 44 days after we got the last prime minister, they've just resigned, and another one is pending. Who knows what that's going to be? And maybe that's overwhelming you, this just constant uncertainty that nobody seems to know what's going on. And that's okay. In those moments when I thought it was the end, I didn't know what was going on. But I really felt that it wasn't just me on my own, that there was a team, whatever you believe in, God, angels, the universe, Allah, Muhammad, whatever you believe in, there are things greater than you. And maybe you're a scientist and you don't believe in anything. But what's overwhelming you right now? And feel free to add it in the comments if you want. Or just make a note of it. If you have the workbook, make a note of it in the workbook. If you don't have the workbook yet, just make a note of it on your notebook, wherever you are. What's overwhelming you right now? Because when you write things down, you suddenly take away its power. You will realize that what's overwhelming you isn't as big as it's making out to be. It's like you turn on the light. You shine the light on the problem, and the problem is not as big as it is when it's in your head. There's just something amazingly scientific about writing it down, getting it out. So what's overwhelming you right now? Write it down. There's 3 simple steps to setting boundaries. The first step, this is so obvious, but you need to set them. I know, mic drop. The second step, you need to stick to them. Whatever the boundary is, you need to stick with it. You need to try it. You need to find out. You need to see what happens from setting that boundary. And then the third step is to keep them going. Now, what I mean by all of this is, if you don't have boundaries, people treat you how you treat yourself, and people treat you how you allow them to treat you. So when you don't have boundaries, that's how they're treating you. So if you feel like people just walk all over me and I can never say no, and people just always ask things that is just too much, if you don't have a boundary, then that's what's going to happen. The second part of sticking to them is because once you set a boundary, people will test them. So when you understand this, then when it happens, it's not so scary. When you're going through it, it's not suddenly like, oh, well, why are they doing that? Because there's a boundary and they're testing it. Like we used to test the boundaries when we were children. It's what we do. And then keeping them going even if they're challenged by people, even if somebody says, no, I'm not going to accept that. Having that courage to keep it going. Because remember, it's your time. It's your life. What you are doing all the time is creating the life that you have, the life experience. If you want a different life experience, you're going to have to try different things. So who's pushing your boundaries right now? Have you just got 5 minutes? Oh, go on, squeeze this in. I don't know why you can't. We're so busy, we really need your help. Could you just stay late tonight? Could you just stay late tomorrow? Could you just do this quickly? Who's actually asking you this? And think, write it down. Again, write it down. Get it out of the washing machine brain onto a piece of paper. Are these people in your personal life? Are these people in your work life? Are these people in both? Are these just people in the street? People that you've encountered that you've never met before? Is this how they interact with you? Because how you do one thing is how you do everything. And how people interact with you in one area of life is how they interact with you in another area of life. Because it's all energy, it's all connected. And most of the time we can't see it. This is the interesting thing. And how can you test if what I'm saying is even true? Well, I'd love you to just think about people that you meet on the street, people that you meet in work, people that you just meet straight away. What is their energy telling you? Their words are telling you one thing, but what is their energy telling you? Do you believe them? Or are you a bit like, oh, I don't know what there is about them. It's just, it doesn't seem to add up. That's energy. And we are getting more and more energetically tuned in. And our intuition is telling us more and more and more. And this has been since, the 2020s. And it's going to continue if you allow it. And it's a skill, and it's something that you can learn to trust. And you can learn to say to yourself, oh, I recognize that feeling. And then the feeling and how you respond will start to become much more automatic. So who's pushing your boundaries right now? Who is just, they know the code. And you imagine it's like a computer. They know the code. Beep, 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 beep. They push it. And you instantly, you go. Now, yesterday I was in a really, really amazing session with the author of The Chimp Paradox. I'm not sure if you've read The Chimp Paradox. The book is amazing. And he was talking all about how our brain works. Now, if you've been on any of my trainings before, you will know that since my near-death experience, I needed to know what happened to my brain. I needed to know that the brain injury that I had suffered wasn't going to be a detriment to my life, that I was going to be able to reprogram my brain, if you like, and fix it and work out what could happen. So I studied neuroscience obsessively and came across something called neuroplasticity, which is our brain's ability to rewire itself. And neurons that fire together wire together. But neurons that fire out of sync can lose their link. And what that means is we can rewire our brains, rewire our way of thinking so that we sync in a totally different way. So when it comes to these boundary pushers, they might be pushing your boundaries right now, but it doesn't have to be an ongoing thing. Once you've noticed it, you can change it. Awareness is the key to change. So you need to notice who these boundary pushers are and what they are doing. And then once you become aware of this, setting the boundaries so that you have more time and you have more time to do what you want. But you are never going to have more time to do what you want until you work out where your time is going and who or what actually has it. So what is stealing your time from you? What is taking away from what it is that you want to do? So in the Time Management for Entrepreneurs and Professionals book, we walk you through this process, 5 steps in that book to help you to turn your time into productivity. But let me walk you through it right now. If you don't want to get the book, which is absolutely fine, you need to track your time for 7 days. From the moment you wake up in the morning to the minute you go to bed in the evening. Where is all your time going? What is your time being spent on? This is how you will find out who has got your time, what activities, what things come in at the last minute, who those people are. And when you track your time, then you will have the data to make changes. But until you know, you don't have this knowledge. And knowledge is power. But it's only potential power until you can then do something about it. But if you want to change your life and have the life you want, you're going to need to figure out who's got your time, what activities have got your time, and who is actually draining this time. So another question I would love you to think about, again, in the workbook, you can sit and write about it. If you don't have the workbook right now, write it down on a piece of paper. How are you coping right now with everything that's going on, with your boundaries, with the world as it is? How are you coping? Like really, honestly, mental health check. What's going on? What's going on in your head? What are you worried about? Write it down. I can't stress this enough. I feel like a broken record. Get it out of the washing machine onto paper, shine light on it, and it will set you free. Leave it in here, it will eat you up. The only way I can say this is because this is my own personal experience, that the minute I write down what I'm worried about, what I have to get done today, what is on my to-do list, what bills I need to pay, what bills I need to monitor, to collect, to see that come in, to get that, and also that go out, because business is about flow. Money comes in, money goes out, money comes in, money goes out. Not just business, life is the same. Your bank account, you get paid, you spend money, you get paid, you spend money, money goes in, money goes out. So notice how you're coping with these things right now, and just be really, really honest about it. And if you feel like you want to share it with somebody, then there are so many resources out there that are waiting to help you. There are resources that are paid, there are resources that are free. You don't have to deal with any of this on your own right now, because the world that we're in right now is triggering. The conversation that we're having right now is triggering. The questions I'm asking you are triggering, because you are here to change your life, and your life is going to change when you process these things, when you don't run away from it, when you turn around and shine a light on it. Because I tell you, when you shine a light on something that is a shadow that's coming along, it goes. You understand the concept of shadows, I'm sure. So the sun shines down on us, casts a shadow. When the sun is over the top of us, we have no shadow. So that is when the sun is at full light. So when we shine a full light on a problem, there are no shadows. Nothing can hide. I hope this makes sense. And everything I'm saying here right now today, I know is resonating with the person who is meant to hear it. Either today, or if you're listening to this on the replay, my job is to plant seeds. They will grow when they're meant to grow. Some will grow today, some will grow tomorrow, some will never grow. But my job is to plant seeds. And so this whole how are you coping really links into what are you afraid of? Take some time, write it down. Again, when you write it down, you shine a light on it, you take its power away. There's lots of things to be afraid of in life. But once you acknowledge what they are, you can take away the fear, because we don't have to be afraid of these things. We're much more powerful. We're much more powerful as a collective of people, much more powerful as a group, much more powerful when we all come together and we share what we're afraid of. Because when somebody else shares what they're afraid of, it gives you permission to share what you're afraid of. And as we share these things, suddenly we realize we're all the same. So when it comes to setting boundaries, which is the training that we're talking about today, understanding what you're afraid of will help you to set a boundary. Because if you've not got a boundary, because your fear is of what happens when they say no, then you're never going to set the boundary. So let's talk about that then. What happens if they say no? So I did a funny video about this, and let's just use this as the example. Maybe you've seen the video, maybe you haven't. If somebody says, have you got 5 minutes? So this is a great work example, but it also works if you're in the street and a charity collector is chasing you down the street to get you to give them 1 minute. They've started saying now, have you got 1 minute? They used to say, have you got 5 minutes? Most people will say, have you got 5 minutes? Now, it's not that you're being rude. It's not that you're being unhelpful, but there's science behind interruptions. And it takes around 20 minutes for you to focus and refocus if your focus is broken. So if somebody is phoning you, somebody is emailing you, somebody is sending you a message on a chat app, Slack, whatever it is you use, Teams, have you got 5 minutes? It's going to interrupt you. So your answer isn't, yeah, okay, I'll stop what I'm doing, I've got 5 minutes. Your answer is, can you drop me an email? Can you bullet point what it is you want me to help you with? And can you give me a deadline when you need this by? And I guarantee you 2 things will happen. 1, they won't send you the email. They'll find someone else to do it. 2, they'll send you the email, they'll bullet point it, they'll give you a timeline, and the time won't be today. The time will be later. Because when they're phoning you, it's on their mind, so it's urgent. But the reality is, most things aren't urgent. If it was urgent, they wouldn't say, have you got 5 minutes? They'd say, we've got this urgent thing to get done. I really need your help right now. And of course, if that's what needs to be done, you let them know what you're doing, and then you say, should I drop that and do this right now? And the next step after that then is for them to make a decision. 2, yes, drop it. I really need your help on this one right now. Or 2, it's okay. Don't worry. Carry on with what you're doing. So when you go through this process, suddenly it's not about no. It's not about you having to say the word no. It's a conversation. Does this make sense? So many times we get concerned about what's going to happen and we build it up in our heads, but the reality isn't anything like that. The reality is that they will most likely find someone else. And if they can't find somebody else, the deadline won't be immediate, or it's something that they really need you to do right now. And if they are more senior than you, then obviously it needs to be done. That's your job. If it's a relationship, then again, it's all about trying to find the win-win, to negotiate, to work it out, but to recognize and to understand that you want to come from this place of finding the win-win of being helpful, of being a team player. But equally, you also want to protect yourself because it's your time and it's your life and it's your career. And it's lovely to be helpful and it's lovely to be there for everybody. But you stand the risk of becoming known as that willing donkey, that person that gets given everything. Oh, give it to her, give it to him, give it to them. They'll fix it. They'll sort it out. They always do. And how you respond is how people will continue to treat you. And it's not that they're disrespecting you. It's that you're disrespecting yourself by your actions. And so it's about learning how to take different actions to get different responses, to be able to elevate your self-perception, your self-worth, and their perception of you. So think about the people that you admire the most in your organization, in your friendship groups, in the celebrity world, somebody that you might have met recently. What is it about them, their character that they're embodying that you want also? Because they have had to learn and to practice these things. Like I have also had to learn and practice these things. Running a business, same as doing a job. You get asked all the time, what about this? What about that? Have you got 5 minutes? Could you just do this? Could you do that? Could you help with this? Could you help with that? How about this? I could help you with this. I could help you with that. Every single thing is time. And every single thing is process. So when you think about when somebody says no, they're probably not actually saying no as well. They're just saying not right now. Because their brain is sequencing things. So just while we're on the brain, here's a funny story that I've observed about myself and my brain. So my brain, I would say, is very much like the runway at an airport. And the planes are circling in the busy times to come in, to land at the runway, the airport. And all of the things that are in my brain that I know I've got to do, this, I can visualize them landing like a plane. Land, 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 done, 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 done. So if other things come in, all the planes have to slow down. And if you've ever been on a plane or ever watched an airport, especially Heathrow, a plane lands every 1 minute, every 60 seconds. So imagine them saying, hang on, guys, we just need to slow down. We've got to fit another thing in. Something's come up. It's a lot. So that's what you're doing to your brain. That's what people are doing to your brain. So when you understand that, you can see that. And also that's why it's important to keep a physical list of the things that you're working on right now, the things you need to do right now, your priorities, so that you don't forget them when the life distractions, the things, whatever it may be, comes up, because that's what happens in life. So we've had an amazing conversation today. I would love to know what you've taken away from this conversation today, what your big challenges are, what things you would like help with, what things you would like to change. Because remember, I said, it's your time. It's your time. The clock is ticking. I can hear my clock ticking as I'm doing this session right now. If you get my emails, you know it's noisier at certain parts as the hands go round, and then it gets quieter and then it gets noisier. Probably need to get a new clock, but I've only just got a new clock. But anyway, send me a message. Let me know what your questions are from this. Download the workbook, watch this training back, ask yourself these questions again. Who has got your time? How are you coping with what's going on right now? Use the workbook, and then let's have a further conversation. My current book, Time Management for Entrepreneurs and Professionals, is for those of you who want to find out where your time is going and are really serious about it. It will help you reclaim an hour or more a day if you do what's in the book. And that's not just me saying this, this is the testimonials of the people who have the book. So you can find the book on our website, successbydesigntraining.com. You can also find the book on Amazon. It's available in Kindle as well, if that is how you consume your books, or you live in a country where just the postage just doesn't make sense for you. And then I'm smiling because I am so excited to let you know that we've also created a workbook to go with the book. And in the workbook, you will be able to do all of the exercises. This is available on pre-order. It will be going out mid-November. So pre-order your copy now, because we've got a special price on the pre-orders as well. And these two items together will really, really help you to change your relationship with time once and for all. So if you signed up for this masterclass, because obviously it's streaming everywhere, but if you signed up for it, you will be able to download the masterclass workbook, because you will have been emailed the link to that. If you didn't sign up for it and you would like to sign up for it, then you can always message me and ask me for the link to sign up to get that. Remember, I showed you at the beginning, there is, where are we now? There is a great website for you that's going to have the replay of this video and the download as well. So I'm going to post the link into the chat. I'm not sure if you can see it on all of the platforms. So if there's somebody on LinkedIn that could copy paste that into LinkedIn for those people over there, that would be really, really helpful. But this is how you can get the workbook. And yes, the link to download it will all be emailed to you. So hopefully that all makes sense. Let me just... So yeah, the workbook, I'm so excited. Remember, it's your time. If you've got any questions, you can also email inquiries at Success by Design Training. If you think that this type of training would be beneficial for your organization, we do workshops, half-day workshops, whole-day workshops, workshop sessions, all the sorts of things. So reach out and ask. I'm so excited to work with organizations and teams that just want to improve their relationship with time and become more effective at managing it and having the time that they want. Because as I've said, this is about your relationship with time in your life, as well as your relationship with time when it comes to work as well. I'm just trying to see if I can post, because I don't know who is on at the moment, if I can post the link into the event. Can't see it on my phone. I'm so sorry, but if somebody is around and can copy paste that link from Facebook over to LinkedIn, then that would be really, really helpful. But it has been my absolute pleasure to spend this time with you, and I look forward to hosting another masterclass training very, very soon. We do these once a month, every few weeks, and the replays are always available. We have them on our YouTube channel. We have them links to them in the free area of the training on our website as well, so you can go and find that and access the training over there. But until next time, stay safe, stay well, and remember, it's your time. There's never been a better time to set these boundaries, to take control, to reclaim an hour, and to start maximizing so that you can have the life that you want, no matter what is going on in the world, because it's possible. So see you soon.